Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal reject bid from 16-time national champions for a brilliant Gunners ace. The latest news from journalist David Ornstein has suggested that Arsenal have received a bid from Besiktas for Rob Holding. According to the Athletic journalist, Besiktas' proposal for Holding was around £2.1 million. Ornstein went on to report that this is far below the valuation that Arsenal would consider selling him for. Due to this, the bid has apparently been rejected. The player only has 1 year left on his contract, but Arsenal do have the option to extend his contract for an extra year. Holding has fallen in and out of the starting 11 over the years, and it does feel like now is the best time for him to be sold. Despite reports suggesting that the centre back is expected to leave this summer on either a permanent or loan move, it's no shock to see Arsenal reject the bid. This is due to the fact that they will definitely feel like they can get more money for the defender. If that was the first bid from Besiktas, then no doubt they will bid again. The move to the 16-time Turkish champions would not be a bad transfer for Holding at all. He would be able to still play at a top level and would still be playing in a European competition. The move, if the bid is a bit higher, would also benefit Arsenal as it means that they will be able to get some money for the player to spend on others who would feature a lot more. Sadly, there are other defenders at the club who are better than the 27-year-old Englishman, and if he wants to play consistently, then he needs to move. The defender, who has been brilliant on occasions for the club, will definitely most likely leave during the summer transfer window. Journalist gives injury update on £35 million Arsenal player. Oleksandr Zinchenko's injury is a bit of a worry at the moment. That's according to Football London's Kaynak, who spoke about Zinchenko's injury on his YouTube channel. Indeed, Kaynak was discussing a number of injuries within the Arsenal squad at the moment, including the likes of Gabriel Martinelli and Martin Odegaard, but he noted that Zinchenko's injury is a bit more concerning than any other. Kaynak was initially told that Zinchenko could play a part in the preseason for Arsenal, but sadly, there was no sign of him in Thursday's friendly, bringing around fresh concerns about the Ukrainian's fitness. Kaynak shared what he knows about the £35 million player. He said, his injury is a bit more concerning. It was a calf injury that continues to linger from last season. It was a calf season that kept him out early last season as well. I was told he could be in the preseason games as Arsenal get him back to fitness. There were pictures of him training, but I don't know how intense the training was. The early signs are that he is not over his calf injury yet. This is potentially a real issue for Arsenal. Zinchenko is absolutely vital to the way the Gunners play, with his inverted fullback role determining so much of how Arsenal build up from the back. Of course, the fact that Zinchenko is back in light training is a boost, but he still doesn't seem to be fit enough to take part in first team action. Arsenal will need to start fast if they are to win the league this season, and they will need all of their best players fit and firing if that is to happen. David Ornstein says Premier League clubs wanted to sign Arsenal's unbelievable player. Premier League clubs were looking into the idea of signing William Saliba this summer as his Arsenal contract began to wind down. That's according to David Ornstein, who was speaking on 5 about the defender. The French defender's deal was due to expire in 2024, and as he entered the final year of his contract, the vultures began to circle. However, as we all know, Arsenal did manage to get Saliba to agree to new terms, and he has now committed his long-term future to the North London club. Ornstein shared what he knows about the unbelievable centre-back. He said, they have made a massive play in trying to renew their best talent, and retention have become as important as a new contract. The likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Aaron Ramsdale, and now William Saliba are tied down. You can argue who is the best player of those, but one of the most important is Saliba. He has shot to prominence after 3 years on loan. He is in the front setup now. He is exactly what Arsenal needed, and he was heading into the final 12 months of his deal. There was serious interest in him from clubs in the Premier League and overseas, but credit to Arsenal, they got it done with a 4 year contract, and they will be delighted to have him, and he looks very happy. This sort of story just goes to show how far Arsenal have come in recent times. In years gone by, Arsenal's top talents would have been cherry picked by their rivals as the Gunners faltered both on and off the pitch, but now they have managed to tie Saliba down to a new contract as well as Saka, Martinelli, and Ramsdale. Arsenal's era of losing their best players before they want to appears to be over, and Saliba will now be at the Gunners for the foreseeable future. Havertz promises to give everything for Arsenal. Kai Havertz was given his debut in the second half against Nuremberg, but it must have been very difficult with an 11 made up of some academy graduates and a lot of players that have not played together before, but we still made many chances and could have won the game. The German hasn't been at the club long, and he admits it will take time for him to settle in, but he was very happy to get his debut under his belt. He said, I'm very happy. For me, it's a very big club, and to play here is, of course, a dream. And I'm happy to be part of this group. I have been here for 4 days, and I feel very welcome, and I am happy to be with the boys. It's a young group, and when I watched them last year from the outside, it was fun to watch them, and I felt the energy behind the club. It's great to be here, and hopefully, we are going to have a good time and achieve a lot of things. From the outside, it always looked like a big family, and I always felt the energy whenever I played against them. For me, it was always so tough to play against them because you felt the togetherness of the players, and now to be in there, I felt very welcome from the first second. I have been here for a couple of days and I already feel part of the group. It will take some days and weeks to get used to this style of play, that's clear, but I'm going to give everything for the club to get the fitness back into my body and hopefully perform in the highest level in the league. Jurriën Timber says one Arsenal player has already impressed him. Arsenal finally confirmed the signing of Jurriën Timber from Ajax yesterday, and the Dutchman says he already knows how good a player Bukayo Saka is. The Gunners had been linked with a move to sign the Ajax man for a month. A deal was even reportedly done over a week ago, but Mikel Arteta's side took their own sweet time to confirm it. Timber is an Arsenal player now, and that's amazing news for the Gunners. Here is what he said about Saka while speaking to the club's official website. Arsenal are a very attractive team for young players these days. The Gunners have one of the youngest squads in Europe, and they managed to do so well last season. Despite that, Arteta has also shown he is always willing to give young players an opportunity, which makes the North Londoners even more attractive. One of the best young players at Arsenal and in the Premier League is Bukayo Saka. He has been sensational for the Gunners over the years, and Jurriën Timber knows him very well too, having played against him at the Under 17 Euros in 2018. Timber was asked about that day, and he admits Saka gave him a really hard time, even though the Englishman started the game as a left back. The new Arsenal signing said, I played against him. It was a semi final, I think. I think he was a left fullback, so it was kind of 2 against 1 for me with the left winger and Saka. I had a tough game that night. We came out on top on penalties. True, I think if you watch the summary of that game, you can see Saka running the whole time, so it was a good game. Now Arsenal will try and mount another title challenge against Manchester City next season, and the addition of Timber at the back along with the signings of Havertz and Declan Rice set to be announced today makes them so much stronger than last term. Declan Rice sends a message to West Ham fans after sealing Arsenal move. Arsenal have confirmed the capture of Declan Rice in a club record deal from West Ham United. As per reports, the deal is worth around £105 million, and Rice will sign a long-term deal with the Gunners after spending 10 years with the Hammers. According to the official statement from West Ham, Arsenal have paid a British transfer record sum for the 24-year-old England international. Rice has been outstanding for West Ham since joining the club, and he was instrumental to their European success last season. The 24-year-old helped them win the Conference League, and he will look to make his mark with Arsenal now. The Gunners needed to bring in central midfield reinforcement, and he should prove to be a quality acquisition. The midfielder is already one of the best in the league in his position. Meanwhile, the 24-year-old midfielder has now sent out a message to the West Ham United fans. The midfielder thanked the fans for their continued support over the years and explained his decision to join Arsenal. Rice revealed that he wants to play at the highest level possible, and the move to Arsenal will allow him to pursue his ambitions. The midfielder further stated that his allegiance will now lie with his new club, and he hopes that the West Ham fans will respect his professional loyalties. The 24-year-old added that the decision to leave West Ham is an emotional and difficult one for him. He said, "I want you to know how tough a decision it has been for me to leave an environment that I have loved and cherished so much. Ultimately, though, it has only ever been about my ambition to play at the very highest level of the game. Playing on the opposite team to West Ham for the first time will be an unusual experience. I'm not sure yet exactly how I will feel, but I also know you will all understand and respect that my professional loyalties have to now lie with my new club. I will always give 100% every single time I pull on the shirt because that is how I have been brought up at West Ham, and I'm sure you wouldn't expect anything else." Arsenal fly out to the United States for their preseason tour tomorrow, and Rice is set to be a part of the group. The latest news on Arsenal's pursuit of Real Madrid midfielder Aurelien Tchouameni. Arteta's objective for this summer was to remodel his midfield. Xhaka has left, and Thomas Partey is rumored to be leaving. Havertz has joined to take over the Granit Xhaka role, while Rice, who stepped to replace Partey in the number 6 role, is an announcement away from linking up with Arteta and the boys. The two midfield additions strengthen Arsenal's engine room, but Arteta is still determining if his midfield is where it should be. That's why some believe he is looking for another central midfielder to join his project before the transfer window shuts. Aurelien Tchouameni is said to be one of the midfielders being pursued. Speculation state that Arsenal's decision makers were interested in the Real Madrid playmaker a few days ago. So, what's the latest on Arsenal's pursuit of the Frenchman? According to Madrid Zone, Real Madrid will not sell him. The Los Blancos have reportedly indicated that they intend to keep the 23-year-old. The fact that the Spanish giants need to raise finances for Kylian Mbappe's move, with PSG, according to report, ready to let him leave, and the arrival of Jude Bellingham endangering Chouamini's game time, fueled rumors of his departure. But if Real Madrid isn't letting him go, the Gunners should consider who between Gabri Vega and Romeo Lavia they want the most and sign him. Notably, a £60 million plus move for Chouamini would have been more expensive than the other options. Sky journalist says there is two signings Arsenal could make next after getting Rice and Timber. Sheth says that Arsenal could still sign a new right winger and a new central midfielder after bringing in Rice and Timber. Sheth gave an update on Arsenal. He said, "The focus will be on departures simply because they have spent probably £200 million, but the right-sided attacking position, that is something I think Arsenal will be trying to look at. They have been focusing on that position in the past couple of transfer windows, so maybe just keep an eye on that, and maybe keep an eye on the central midfield position. I know Rice is on the verge of coming in, but Xhaka has left as well, and if Thomas Partey was to leave, there is a lot of interest in him. which is just at an interesting stage, but if that was to develop, Arsenal could look into recruiting potentially in there as well. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.